Hello again. So I just wanted to share another junk journal I made for my little Etsy shop, and this is a little golden book that I've repurposed. It's got 3 signatures. There's a little flower dangle that you can take off. It's just on a bowl pin. This was an ugly earring that came in a scrap jewellery bag from the op shop. This cover, it's got some wear. It's an older one, so there's some wear along the edges. The back was in pretty good nick, just needed a bit of a clean. So the closure is just an eyelet on each side with a string. This string is actually cut off an old apron. And I've put a little pin there with a butterfly and 2 beads. So here there was some scribble, but it wasn't children's scribble. It looks like a parent maybe scribbled the name of their child, but it was really a bit ugly. So I've just stuck a little banner across it so you can write on there if you like. I usually leave the names there because I think it just adds to the character of the book, but this one was a bit ugly, so I covered it up. So I've got a softball. I've got a doily there, and what I've learnt from this is don't put the doily on the first page of the signature, because it's really hard when you try and sew it through to find the hole on this side. So I've made a whole bunch of little golden book journals for my Etsy shop, and I put the doily on the first page, and every time I was sewing it in I was thinking, why did I put this on the first page? It does look cuter on the first page, but it's a bit of a pain sewing it in. So that doily is just stitched on. I've incorporated the pages from the book, but because there's 3 signatures in this book, the pages won't fall in order that you'd read them, because the little golden book was only 2 signatures, so it was impossible to put them in order. But they're all in there. I mean, it's really the pictures that I wanted to keep more than the story. So there's no theme to this book either. It's very random. Some coffee dyed paper with eyelet trim. This was just the book pages. You know how you're forever trying to use up book pages. If you make junk journals, you've always got heaps of book pages left over. So I just stick some scrap papers, I don't care what size or colours, just on top that you can just write over. So a coffee dyed candy bag. Just a journal card. These are from, you see these in a lot of my journals. I've got this whole folder full of little cards. There's a gardening folder. Some scrap fabric and cotton. This was from Sewing Pattern. That's just a paper clip I made. That's magazine paper, this leftover fabric. The scraps. I always use the little scraps that are left over when you cut down papers. They just look cute in books once you round the corners. A ruffle. It's a old bingo card from I think the box was 1962. Found this an op shop that I go to. They have a table that things that they don't sell, they put on this table to give away. And this game was actually on that table, and it still had all the old cards in it and the little pieces and everything. So I wanted to use the little pieces, so I've glued those in. They're the little, you know, plastic little markers. Just made a pocket out of it. This was actually my husband's desk calendar at work last year, so he brought it home for me because he knows I always cut everything up. And I've just coffee dyed it, and it came out really good. The image, it didn't run, and it looks really old. This is the center of the first signature, and that's just some fabric covered thick book page. So I just make a little pocket to hide the stitching in the middle. In the center of that, I've just got a recipe from an old vintage cookbook. So all the discoloration on this page, that's natural. That's not actually, you know, distressed or inked. And the paper is like thick and old and crunchy. Not crunchy, it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like if you bend it, it feels like it's going to crack and break. Brittle, I suppose that's the word. I love the diagrams. Some scrap fabric collaged with some yarn. Oh, this was the just the drop paper of I was spraying something, and this was the drop paper which had all the paint overspray on it. It's cute. I pop that in. The pack of Peppa Pig cards that I have no idea where I got those from. I just found them while I was rearranging my craft room, and just stitched around the edge, made a pocket out of it. Scrap paper collage again, and that's just a trimming off one of the pages. This is the next signature. Just some really heavily dyed coffee dyed paper. Old calendar page. It's 2009. This is a pocket here. This tag is just made from leftover book pages again. There was a blank page, so you can write on that. And under here, I don't know if you can tell, it's actually textured. This is just scrap fabrics thrown on under there. I've got this little bucket next to my sewing machine that's got the stupidest little pieces in there, like teeny tiny itty bitty little pieces I even throw in there. So this is all the teeny tiny pieces, and then I've got this other huge tub of larger pieces that I'm forever trying to use up. So there's some little teeny tiny scraps under there with the negative of a piece of paper when I was punching out some flowers to make embellishments. Just a scrap of string. It's just some sort of game card there to make a pocket. This is from a board game called Beyond 2000. And these, you see in all my journals, I make these little journal cards out of the images in stamp auction catalogues. They're so cute. They're teeny tiny envelopes. And a lot of the catalogues, it if there's something really old, or it's stamps or postcards or something from a time that's significant in history, you know, like World War One or something, they'll actually write about the history. They're quite interesting to read, some of them. Some music paper. I always leave this bit on there when you pull it out of a spiral folder because I think it looks cute. This is actually, this was a few pages off a Costco Tell Us What You Think little booklet they have on the entry. I told them that their cafeteria area was very dirty, needed cleaning. Their bins are always full. It's so disgusting. So I just swiped a few of the pages off the notebook and coffee dyed them. I take papers from everywhere, all random places. It's a ruffle. This is a pocket I've just made out of some, it's like wallpaper, but it's, you know, trim that goes along the edging in a, like a baby's room. Put it above their cot or something around the walls. It's really super cute. It's got all these little, really cute little farm animals on it. So I've just made a pocket there with some scrap fabric. And all my pockets, I always fill with just random stuff that you can use for this journal or some other journal, or take it out if you don't like it. It's just, I don't know what this is. Warranty card or something? I don't know. It's got Aladdin on it. And this is a vintage comic book. The colouring on this, I didn't coffee dye this or tea dye it. That's the actual colour of the magazine or book. I think it's Wizard of Id or something like that. This little fabric tab there. Some invitation paper. It's really thick, it's nice. And this little coffee dyed note paper. And this is just a little notepad that I've made. It's out of a brown paper bag with some fabric stitched on the top. This is the other side of the calendar. I've just made a pocket. Okay, like I said, I put really random stuff in these pockets. You can think of something creative to do with it on the other side. This is actually, this makes me a bit sad. My sister found this whole box of books in a curbside cleanup or somewhere. And in there was a whole folder of Jeffrey Wu, of his school, like little certificates from school and everything. And it was a bit sad. Like, I kept all my stuff like this from school, and I didn't know if they meant to throw it out or it was an accident or what, but I thought I'll pop it in here. You can write on the back or do whatever, but Jeffrey will let your efforts in chess live on. And he's got a whole bunch of these little guys. So you'll see him in like a whole bunch of journals. No idea what this is about. This is some Chinese little books that was in that box. And don't know what it says, but I love the Chinese writing. It's so, well, I'm assuming it's Chinese, but it's so gorgeous. Each little character is like a little piece of art. As you can see, I really love heavily coffee dyed paper. I like it really dirty and, you know, grungy. Oops, that one. There's one tray. Sometimes if it's too windy outside or it's raining or something and I can't actually put the coffee dyed paper outside to dry in the sun, I might just pop it into bake in the oven. And one tray I've got that I use for coffee dyeing, it's got this little metal patch that is kind of, I don't know, worn off or burnt or something, and it always leaves these good little burn marks, which I really like. Some fabric. Just another little envelope and a page out of a little solitaire book. You would have seen, if you've watched any previous videos, you would have seen that in the previous journals. This is, I don't know if you call it vellum, but it's one of the divider pages out of a wedding photo album. So you can see through it and it feels really nice. Thought it would be good to mount a picture or something on that side and then you can see it through. This is, I'm not sure the proper name for it, but it's the blank pages where you write music. It's a little journal card. This is just packaging. I think it was a Christmas fruitcake or something with some fabric sewn on top. As you can see, I use everything. Actually, I watched this video this morning. I think her name was Cara Lane, or I can't remember the name, but I'll put the link down there. She did this really short little 40-second video and the title was I use everything, and I thought, yeah, that's me. That's like my motto. I'll put the link to her channel. I've only got 3 subscribers, but you probably all know her anyway if you ever see this video. I'll put the link to her video in the description. I just thought it was really cute. It was like a 40-second thing and I thought the title was almost like my motto. So it's just a blank card. And I don't know, you can't tell, sorry it's dark in here, but this pattern it's like velvety and it's raised. It's so pretty. I found a whole pack of these in an op shop and they're blank inside, so I've been using them in my little golden book journal. These pages were from a Chinese homework book where they'd put whatever the homework was for that day. That's what it looks like, and then they'd tick it off. Just an atlas page, which I've made a pocket. Put a journal card in the middle. This one, recovered from lost flying boat. So cool. I really love the auction catalogues for stamps. Oh, if you're in Australia, you'll recognise this. This is the old train and bus tickets. Oh, not bus, train tickets. Before the Opal card came in. So it's not that old, but I can't read the date on it. It's not that old, but you won't see them again. They're gone. So I thought I couldn't chuck it away. I had to keep it. Keep it 20 years. It'll be vintage. Fabric pocket. Sewn on. Just put some random fabric tabs on the pages. Little scraps out of that bucket that never seems to empty. Just some scrap papers sewn together to make a little notepad. I love how this came out. Probably almost burnt that. Oh, these are old CD. You know, if we had a book that you take in the car that you just put the CD in without the cover, just so that it's all in one little compact book. And I've just pulled that apart and stitched it on to the other side of the vellum, and just stuck a old black and white picture from a book in there. Isn't that cute? Little kid. Just backed it onto some coffee dyed paper that you can use as a journaling card. And there's another one on the other side. So I just sewed that in as a flip out. And the last page, it's just got an envelope glued down as a flip out, and it's just a piece of matching stationery paper that matches the envelope in there. Okay, and that's it. So it's pretty chunky, but it's probably because of all the crap stuffed in the pockets. Anyway, if you're interested, I'll have some more little golden book videos posted over the next few days. I've made probably 10 of them, I think, which I'll try and put a few into one video now. They're quite similar, little different, because I made them maybe over a few weeks, so they're kind of different, but a lot of them the same. You know, things like the doily pages, you know, I sewed 10 at once. So some pages are the same, but whatever's in there is different. And this little book, it'll be available on my Etsy shop sometime later today. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.